You actually fill your own gas tank up, Sharon?
All the time. I don't know what you're getting at or why you woke up so frisky on a Friday, but I just the other day, and it was like $75. Okay, and I have a hybrid.
Oh,
so
okay. No, I know.
How about that?
I know you can. I know you can afford it. I know you pay for it. I'm just saying. I think that personally,
there you go again.
As a man, I think a man should pump the gas for a woman. That's just what I think men should do. That if there's a man that's around, a woman should never pump a gas if a man is around. I don't think so.
Didn't pay for it either.
That's just me. That's
I
old
agree
school.
with you.
Am I wrong for that?
I happen to agree with you. All right.
Okay.
No, you're everything right. After starting off a little to the left, you're everything right. Mary said she learned something here, Mike. And among the things she learned, it was, and I support and appreciate this. I think he's garbage, and I'll tell you why later. It's just because it's garbage behavior, and I don't believe in it.
Okay.
But I support that she looked inward, and she's saying things like, I had to take a look and say, you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. Why was I looking for love and these kinds of relationships and frankly ending up with these kinds of people? That's an active choice. Even if you allow yourself to be chosen, every woman's been through that.
Right.
And it's sad, but I hate that she had to do this. She had to go on tour to pay this fool who is a producer who had been living off of her and disrespecting her for all these years. Michael Costello, you familiar with him? He said reluctantly that he wanted to come forward and say what she had done to him when he was, according to him, caught up and accused of racism, but it was really, he says somebody had spoofed him and created this lie, and it was not him. And when he pleaded with Chrissy Teigen to please, because she picked it up and ran with it, please hear my story, she basically said, drop dead or something. And
and he was.
I do think that it is
contemplating
true
suicide.
That people, he said that's what he hasn't to this day gotten over it. He really hasn't. He's written letters, he says. And I do think it's true that there is hypocrisy, and it comes from people. You're looking at her. When I like someone, I think I'm willing to make more allowances for them, but I think we have to look deeper than that. When it comes to Chrissy Teigen, I don't think she's a horrible person. I just don't. I think she wrote some horrible things to some people, and that's not okay. But she's a mother, and I think what I accept and like about her is that she's not mincing words now that she's called on it. Even when she went dark for a minute, you didn't hear Chrissy Teigen making a bunch of excuses for her behavior. Just, I'm sorry, and I'm in a dark place. And I hope that LeBron keeps talking. I just don't know why he and some others, Mike, are like kind of like splitting the baby. It's as if they're giving like a dog whistle to this element of the culture, right? Like, I don't want to go all in on this vaccine is right stuff because I'll like lose some credibility. That's speculation on my part, but I'm just telling you what it feels like. The thing that I found fascinating also from these excerpts is that Prince William said, while it was tactless, what Dad said, Harry, come on, doesn't mean he's racist, which always fascinates me when, in this case, rich white royal men dictate what they believe is and is not racism. I can think of a lot of things you could speculate when Harry and the beautiful Meghan get together and procreate.
You have not returned them.
I love you, T.O. I'll always support him. How's his wine doing? I root for him because I root for anybody that people tried to tear down. He is a superstar. Weren't we talking about Drake?
He's a good dude.
But then you pop that up.
Yes.
Why did they pop that up?
But I asked
because
you a question,
whenever they want to keep me calm.
You didn't answer the question.
I thought I did because I forgot about the other guy. Would I be with T.O.?
Okay.
What was it? No, what was the question again?
A listening session in the studio with Drake or in the gym working out with T.O.?
A late night studio session with Drake. It's 1 a.m. Or a workout.
I don't know what time it is. So you can
They're both just so beautiful and confident.
basically told the athletes, you better not talk about oppression over here. You better not protest over here. And I just think it's lovely. I think she should moonwalk, dance, twerk, whatever she wants to do, should she make it to the medal. Twerk it, and then they would have, if it were me, you know I can't twerk, but I'd learn for this one. They'd have, who's the guy at the Apollo who when somebody does bad and he comes out and with the little hook and takes him off, they have to get the Sandman to get me off, because if I want to protest, that's what, thank you, Gwen. How dare you?
I mean, things have changed in general. We have Me Too now. Okay, so there's a lot of things that men in positions of power allegedly can't get away with. But Nolan Richardson couldn't do what Bobby Knight did. Nolan Richardson couldn't do that, could he? Okay, and we didn't need to have social media. We had ESPN and Sports Center, so it was instantly the chair throw, the grabbing the play. It was instantly all over the place and went for then.
Aspects. I like football, so I'm going to give that qualifier there. I think there's aspects of football, including pro football, that are so dumb and juvenile and sophomoric. If you have to take people who are professionals who've been in this game their whole lives and treat them in this way, I think that's stupid. Okay? I like a more Phil Jackson approach in coaching. Treat men like men. There's psychology and personalities and all that. But football, the reason I say there's a stupid aspect, this group thing, and I understand that in order to take the field and one team, one task, any given Sunday, both teams played hard, whatever you want to say about it. But the group thing here, if I am an educated person, an athlete, and you gonna throw some, what is this anti-monkey itch stuff? What is this butt stuff? What is this?
Now, I heard the same two hours almost of him talking, and he's a good, well-intentioned man. I believe that. But when he uttered that about, basically he's saying I face more challenges than anybody in history at the presidential level. I remember a guy who came into office and he had to hold hands with the guy who was just leaving after wrecking the economy, the housing market, the auto industry, all of it. And oh, by the way, he was black and nobody liked him and they vowed to make him a one-term president and they blocked everything.
You lie!
And he figured out a way, even though he was just, an infant senator, right? Because remember they said, you don't have the right to run for the presidency. He'd just been there for 10 seconds. And so he didn't have that many friends there, okay, on Capitol Hill. But somehow he managed to get it done. And then they passed this law and they named it after him, Obamacare, okay? So I get that we have not seen the likes of a pandemic to this degree, okay? I get the Spanish flu and all that. This is crazy, okay? I get it. But by the way, I don't need him working behind the scenes. How's that working out?
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. Kamala Harris is also a grandmother, and I bet she doesn't have baby monitors in her home for when the little babies come over. I bet you there's no baby monitors allowed in her home. Do you know why? I can hear my neighbor. I can tell you, I heard some things. I can't unhear, okay? Or maybe, it's more interesting, I'll put it, than what's going on in my house. And I'm going to leave it at that, okay? Because there's a baby monitor over there. And now there's another baby on the way. Okay? I guarantee it, she won't have a garage door opener. Do you know why? Because when you buy garage door openers at Home Depot, do you think you're the only one? Do you think you're the only one? Do you not know that I could drive to California, okay? It's taken about a week, with my own garage door opener, and I could click the button outside your house, and guess what? There's a good chance your door's going to go up. Better lock the inside door, okay? You might want to lock the inside.
You said it's party over country, okay? And it is. But in Senator Tim Scott's case, when it comes to this country's deep-rooted history of racism and Jim Crow and suppression, it is party over the essence of him. He's a black man born in 1965 in the South. He's lived in the South his whole life, and he's pretending that he doesn't know any better. He's pretending that generations of him were allowed to sit on the porch and drink sweet tea instead of serving it up or slaving in the fields. That's what he's pretending. It's so heartbreaking and offensive.
Been through some health
scenarios. You made it out on the other side, but Rick Ross is here today, healthy, looking great, because you had the access. And isn't that what it's all about? So I bet you that watch that we won't get a doctor in 3 minutes, Ross.
Oh, that's the easy bet.
You take the bet.
That's the easy bet. That's the easy bet.
Is it about the time it takes? I mean, you're so busy.
I mean, honestly, it could be even deeper than that, because I think being a black male growing up in our community, you go without being pampered a lot of different times. So you may go through different things. You may take an injury, you may suffer, you may go, and you don't really go to no one. You don't even discuss that with your buddies, most definitely not going to a doctor. So I think it could be deeper than that, but this is the way we change that, by having a doctor at your fingertips.